You set that in Twitch, or do you set that?
Just now. Technically, we should be going. We're lagging behind. That's what it is. That's okay. So we're just gonna forget about that for a second, and let's go ahead and roll the intro.
Remember, I've seen too many deaths.
Maybe he died, maybe he didn't. Maybe I laughed, maybe I didn't. I don't know.
I did laugh.
Okay.
So, but that's still not an indicator that he died.
And yellow. All right, we are live. I'll wait for that to catch up for us, but we are live.
Here we go. We're back
with Kyle and Jeremiah. And since I started off horribly with Spider-Man's trailer,
I don't think that was too bad.
Let's go ahead and I'm gonna take these off and be more natural. Let's throw it to you, Jeremiah. What do we want to start with today?
Sure. So, married for a week now.
Oh, we can't start with it.
That's what we're starting with.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So I was. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You have more? Or do you want me to go into it?
I do. Yes, to my sister, no less.
Oh,
I don't know who told you could do that, but
your father.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, then it's his fault then.
Well, he cried. I don't know. I don't know if I got the yes from him, but he cried.
I think that works. That's acceptable.
It was funny because he asked me if he could borrow my power washer to open the pool, and I'm thinking, open a pool is fine. He wants me to spray down, the cover. He didn't tell me I'm gonna be out there in shorts and no shoes because it's all green and yellow and orange slime.
Oh,
and it's gonna be flying all over me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, now is not a great time to ask.
I've done that many times.
So I wait till it's power washed.
That's the perfect time though.
And I was like,
when you're covered.
So I have a question to ask you, and I have a feeling that he kind of knew.
Yeah.
It was coming because he starts, your dad, he starts getting quiet and stuff. I'm like, well, so this is what I bought Joy, and I show him on the phone, and then he's already started crying, and I'm like, I want to ask your blessing. And
right.
He's just crying and hugging me. So it's I assume it was a good cry. It could have been a very bad cry.
Yeah. Got too emotional there for him.
So that is how it asked. And I will say, my buddy asked me, we're on the phone, and he goes, so is it any different being married? And I was like, I have to wear a ring, and that kind of sucks. I'm not used to wearing jewelry, so it's taking more time than I thought to get used to having something on my hand.
Right.
I like to feel at the end of the day like I'm taking everything off besides the necklace I wear.
Yeah.
But I've had that on for years, so I don't feel it. And I've taken it off twice because I talked to my cousin who does a lot of home renovations and flooring, and apparently not tungsten. What is this? Oh, it is tungsten. It's very brittle, but strong. Yeah. And I wanted that because if I ever go to a plant or in my previous line of work at, the automotive industry, you can't wear rings and plants or anything or any kind of, so it will shatter instead of bending to your finger and shedding it. So I got that.
That's good. Yeah, you don't want to get degloved.
And he was like, just remember it's super conductive.
Oh, really?
I was like, what? And he's like, super conductive. He's like, all the electricians we work with, they also wear them, but they take them off during the job.
Sure. Is it more conductive than gold?
I guess
really?
It's super conductive.
I thought gold was one of the best conductors.
It might be, but he said it was super conductive. I mean, he's coming from a guy that does this kind of stuff. I'm like, all right, it must be super conductive. Yeah. And it was funny because the day after the wedding, I had planned to work on the four-wheeler, specifically the electrical. So I took it off and just wore it around my necklace that way. Because my luck, I'm sitting here messing with wires, tracing leads, and it goes right to my ring. It's only 12 volt. It wouldn't hurt that bad, but it wouldn't be fun. Yeah. So other than that, I played some guitar today for when my sister was hanging out with me, and that was my biggest worry. I don't play a ton, right? But I'm already not great, so I don't need any more inhibitants on the neck. But it was fine. So.
Maybe it'll give you a good chance to, really, focus more.
No.
Since you're, having to
maybe,
deal with a new challenge.
I guess that's the thing is, the guitar is fun. It's fun to play, but
Yeah.
I don't see myself ever diving in it to get to a level where you're a musician. Like, it's just, I hear a song,
Yeah.
not even a whole song.
I mean, if you want to get proficient at it, then you have to be
to.
like playing hours
and I
a
don't
day.
think I'm gonna get to that. And I wish I would have in high school or something when I had all
Oh,
this
yeah,
free
me
time.
too. Yeah.
I wish.
There were years where I just like I'd pick it up and put it down. I mean, just constantly, just never really dedicating.
I did that too.
The time. Like I'd only learn enough to play.
That's
so
what
like
I
I
do
played
now.
in the band, but it was just those songs for that performance. So
That's more than me.
yeah,
My parents tell me I want to play guitar. Playing guitar, I don't care who you are. It looks cool.
right.
I mean, playing guitar is cool.
Yeah,
And so they sent me to a music lesson where the guy's got me teaching me the strings, and he's having me play Mary Had a Little Lamb and stuff. And
Yeah.
to me, it was so boring.
Hmm.
I mean,
it was funny. Like I had a guitar teacher called him Rock and Rob. Dude was awesome. Like he was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
He kept telling me every lesson, he's like, you don't need guitar lessons. And I'm like,
really?
yes, I do. Like I what I'm good at is faking it. Like I can pretend like I can play the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I don't know
Let
how
me
to play
interrupt our
this.
stream really quick, as I'm sure that's picking up on the microphone.
Got a little intruder.
Climbing up the back. All right. Well, I'll pay the cat tax really quick.
All right.
Oh, that's right. We're on delay.
Yes, there
There it
she is. There you go.
That's baby. And I'm sorry, baby. Go find mom. Nope. Nope. Oh my god.
It's just like, this is where I want to be. I don't know why you're trying to stop me.
I love you. Have fun. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
So he was saying you don't need it, and you were saying you do need the lessons.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Because like I said, if I have time to prepare, then which I always did, because
if you're doing a
give
show
me
or
sheet
something,
music
yeah.
and
you're talking for the class.
for a lesson, for anything, for the lesson, for the performance, all that kind of stuff. Then I can play that well enough to make you think I can play anything else.
Oh,
I
see.
can't.
You get good at the one thing,
Yeah.
and then everyone assumes, obviously.
So what I actually was really good at though when I did play was I just put on some music, like put the radio on or something like that, and just noodle and just play by ear.
Oh my god! See,
So
that means, I mean, your whole family is good at music, but yeah, that's how you know you're musically inclined. Because to me, I listen to it and I hear something, and I'm like, that sounds so easy, and it will take me an hour. Like I'll play one note, and I'm like, higher than that,
yeah,
lower than that,
right,
higher. And I was like, is that a chord? And I'll sit there for hours, and then I'm just gonna look up the tabs. It's just so much. It's just so much faster.
I wasn't trying to play the music. I was playing along with music, my own stuff though. That's what I mean by noodling. Like I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah,
See,
I'm
I've
not
done
playing
that.
that song. I'm playing, like writing new lines to that music. Yeah.
I've done that on my other streams when we were playing a lot of Fall Guys. Nick would die, or I would die, and Nick would still be playing, and there's music playing.
Yeah.
And I've got 7 guitars sitting here, so I would just pick one up, and I'd just be getting close to the kind of note, so it sounded like it went along with it. And so I've done that, but music, man.
I mean, that's the thing about guitar too, is like, you could be, not in the same tuning as the music that's
but you can get
you're
close.
hearing. So yeah.
Yeah, but the lessons for me as a child who probably had ADHD, I just couldn't, like, sitting there in a room one-on-one, and I'm sure he would have taught me great. I just didn't have the discipline. It was like,
right. Well, that's why I quit piano. Like I couldn't handle the practice.
Oh, see, for me it's this. This is fine. And they're like, yeah, this does something different. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What? 2 hands?
The thing that really turned me off with the piano that I had to quit was I had a teacher who wanted me to count out loud.
Count what?
Count out loud. 1, 2, 3.
While
4,
you're playing?
1, 2. Yes.
Trying to get the metronome in you, basically?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yep. Hated that. I'm like, I'm playing the piano. I don't want to talk. Well, I don't want to talk, period. When I was a kid.
Yeah.
But, I don't want to talk while I'm playing the piano. Like, I could do it in my head. She's like, no, I want you to do it out loud. I want to hear it. I'm like
a power
I quit.
trip. Yeah, like a power trip.
Oh, yeah. She definitely gave me a hard time when I said I was going to quit. She was very upset.
I mean, doing the counting
Oh, it absolutely would have, but I couldn't. I was far too stubborn
to do it.
and
it sounds like she was too.
Exactly. Yep. So it came to the point where we have to go separate ways because neither one of us is giving in on this. So
I've heard of a lot of drummers that, you know, when you're playing live, you know, you have monitors in, and a lot of them will have a metronome higher than the music they're playing, like a click track.
Yeah.
Because they can play to that click track, and it's not even that they want to play faster; they're only playing to the metronome. So for the song, the click track goes faster. Boom, they can automate, like their hands just know, hey, we're playing faster because we want to play to this. But if you took it away, it's like you might not get the right speed you want.
Oh yeah,
because you're just playing. So drumming also.
I've experienced a lot of that.
Drumming.
Yeah, I never I tried learning drums as well, but I never played it in any kind of like public setting. It's
fun.
So yeah,
it looks cool.
Well, actually, I take that back. I actually did do like a solo once.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was around like a talent show type of deal. It was terrible.
It wasn't like those. Have you ever seen that video of those kids that go up there and they start playing? The kid's keyboard falls down. And have you seen that?
What?
Yeah. So
wait, yeah, no, I have seen that.
Yeah, and it all just falls apart.
Yeah,
it all falls apart.
Yeah, no, it was a pretty bad like. Yeah, it was.
I ran a talent show. I've never.
But it was very simple. It's basically like, my solo was here. Let me play you my beginner drum drills. Like that's it. So it's like. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Drumming is. I mean, we talked about the Beatles on the last one, but most of their songs are super simple, right? So drumming is super simple.
Well, that's funny because that's actually something that the Beatles did say. Like, they asked that, if Ringo was the best drummer, and he's like, he's not even the best drummer in the Beatles.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like drumming, like warm-ups, right? You go from warm-ups and they sound so simple. And I've watched a lot of drum videos, and it takes a point where drumming goes from that's super lame, anyone can do it, to holy shit.
Right.
Like, there's only like two levels of drumming. It's either like that's super simple or like how do you even do that?
Right.
And for a drummer, there's probably lots of levels in between. But when you're watching it, you're like, that guy's just doing, or he's just all out drumming.
Right.
That's what's crazy about drumming.
Right.
That's what's crazy.
Yeah. What's his name? He's real famous. Neil Peart.
Is he not famous enough for me?
Phenomenal. Yeah.
What band?
Now you're putting me on the spot. That's a good question.
All right, I'll just Google it real quick. But
yeah,
back to guitar. I see when I tell people, because I have so many guitars and I paint guitars and work on them, and people are always like assuming, oh, you're really into guitar.
Forgot to mute my phone.
Yes. That's hilarious. So for guitar, it's just like I like a certain kind of music. I like early 2000s punk rock, and that's all I want to play. Like I don't have the. Oh, he's from Rush. Neil Peart from Rush.
See, now I feel embarrassed. I should have known that.
Yeah, Rush. Yeah, actually, didn't he just pass away? I have my phone up here. Yeah, he died last year.
Oh yeah, January.
Yeah, so I like a certain kind of music that's really simple and easy to play, because that early 2000s, the hardest part about that is they use so many pedals or amps, right? Because they do really deep grungy, or then they throw some synth on it. So that's the problem with just playing along, because you won't sound like the record.
Right.
But it's easy to play. You can still sing, because that's another part if you want to sing and play. And it still looks cool. I mean, even if it's power chords with a little riff in between, that's all I need to know. Like, I'm not out here learning all these chords, because I only need 2 fingers to do the power chord and then a little riff, and it looks cool. It sounds good. Yeah. And that's about the peak of my guitar playing.
In the band, I spent most of my time in drop D tuning, just because for the majority of it, like we didn't have a bassist. Okay. So I would put
that lower note.
I put hybrid strings on there so that I could kind of get into bass range and still do some like noodling and soloing for a guitar.
Okay. I keep it in standard. Drop D is like the third song I learned was that Green Day song that like dun-dun. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know a ton of Green Day. No.
Anyway, it's iconic riff that I guess he just played while he was warming up.
Yeah.
that's in drop D, and it doesn't sound right unless you're in drop D because it's not low enough. You're not getting the punch to it. But I stay in standard. I use thicker strings that are super slinky, so they're heavy top, skinny bottom. So the top 3 strings are usually a lot thicker than normal, but then the bottom ones are super thin. So it's like a weird.
Sure.
That way you can get the hard power chords, but then when you're doing the low, you can do a pretty sound.
Right.
You know, a nice
See, I was doing
sound.
the opposite. So,
you're doing lower on that.
Super
higher.
heavy low, really light high. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your whole family's musically inclined, though. You want to, what is that? You want to like shout out your brother's band? I mean, I think you're wearing his hat.
I am. Yeah. There it is. Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
Avalon Black.
Yeah.
Yep. They released a new single recently, or it may have been an album actually. I don't know if
they
was
did
it
a
a
single,
whole album or is it a single?
It was a single, but they have an
single.
album cover, so I don't know if the whole album's out yet, but it will be.
Right.
Probably on all streaming platforms.
Definitely a single. So
he's not single. We should say that.
Yeah. Yep. There's that.
There's that. He's not single.
Nope, he's not. So
there we go. That's a plug. That's what I was looking for. Not shout out. It's plug. You want to plug your brother's
there
band.
You go. Right. Yep.
I guess speaking of plugs, let's get into my awkward, funny conversation. You know, you can't stop me. It's already beginning.
Oh, you already planned on talking about plugs?
I wasn't planning on talking about plugs, but it's a good segue into what I wanted to talk about today. We'll just get it out of the way. You watch YouTube, I'm sure.
I watch a ton of YouTube. Yeah.
So you've heard of Manscaped, the lawnmower.
Oh, that everyone's like they're paying everyone
to do
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So for a while, I've had I can't grow a beard like you or your family. So I've just had this Norelco, it was probably $150 when I got it. It's a 3-circle blade. You know, just normal shaver. You can pop the back up for your sideburns.
Yeah.
And every time I saw those commercials, I was like, one, they say manscaping, and I hate when you say that because that could mean your beard, that could mean your chest. What people want to know is your balls. Can you shave your balls? Like, why are you calling it manscaping? Just tell us what you're selling, because they're alluding to it, but they're not just telling. So I'd done a ton of research, and I'm like, what is the best male groomer? You gotta know. And everyone on Reddit, it's either hit or miss. They're like, that's the bad part about Reddit. It's the easiest way to hear what real people say, but it's also very polarizing. You either hate it or you love it.
Sure.
Or you're someone that's trying to sell the product.
Right.
So I've looked, and it's always fighting. It's the lawnmower. It's this. And so for the wedding, I'm like, I need a better razor. I need something to shave my face all the way down. So I went and bought the Philips One Blade or something, and it was I don't know.
I mean, I really like like actual like single blade razors.
So this is crazy. This is an electric razor.
Oh, really?
But it looks like a handheld shaving razor. It's flat.
Really?
No blade. It's flat. And then on the 2 edges, it has the little, rotating blades, or the little, oscillating blades. Huh. And then you can put a guard on it.
Okay.
So, but it's when you shave your face completely flat, almost like you were doing a straight razor.
Huh.
So I'm like, this is awesome. So then you got to test it everywhere. But because it's flat, it's like the lawnmower, any razor freaks you out with all the moving blades. This thing is like a normal razor. You could take it anywhere on your body and you're not even going to feel it. So if who makes that? Did I say Philips?
Yeah.
If they want to start paying us, I mean, I've told all my friends.
Oh, yeah.
The wedding was the next day.
Sure.
I told
I mean,
them,
like, we're just getting started. We're primed for, sponsorships.
Oh, yeah.
It's like getting on the ground floor. We could have.
Right. This laptop's starting to die. Yeah, but I told everyone that day, I'm like, you need to buy one. I'm like, it's because I let them touch it.
Did you use it recently?
Yeah, I used it.
Because your cheeks look, pretty.
I shaved
pretty smooth.
the day of the wedding.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Wait, you haven't shaved since then?
No, don't laugh.
They still look smooth though, like smoother than normal.
Oh yeah, because it took it all the way down. Huh. And when I tell you this, I don't know what they say about the lawnmower. That has moving parts. You don't want to put that near your man parts. All right. This thing is 100%. There's no more flat than this. Than a remote. I mean, you could do this as fast as you want. You might get razor burn or some friction burn. Yeah. But nothing. I mean, you could take it across. So I tested it straight to my kneecap. A weird move straight over everything. Can't feel it because there's no moving parts to actually nick any part of your body. So, really? And then if you want, you can take the small guard it comes on that blocks the 2 things on the edge of it because it's It's flat like this.
I don't think I'm understanding. You're saying there's no moving parts,
right? So
but it has oscillating blades.
So it's like this. Picture this is a blade, and there's a handle.
Okay.
So this is all flat, and there must be something behind the mesh, but the mesh is so thin that you can't see it. Must be something behind there, and then up top and down below, there's little blades that are going back and forth. But it comes with guards that will go over that.
Okay.
So that so then you can just use the flat part. So if you have those guards on there, I mean, you can take those moving parts and straight to your arm, but the guard's gonna block it.
Sure.
But then you could take those off and do a hard trim straight to your beard that I don't have. But I don't know how the lawnmower does. Some people are like, oh, I was bleeding from a privates for a week, and some people are. Oh. So all I have to say to our viewers is I highly recommend it. It was like $40 or $50 at Walmart. I'm sure you can get it cheaper on Amazon, but I needed it the same day. It was great.
Sure. Okay. Well. Okay. Here it is on it Target's $35.
So there's two. Mine came with more of the blade attachments for for longer. Yes. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Mine has bigger. You see those guards or replacement blades or whatever.
Yeah.
Mine has guards that snap over that whole thing.
Okay.
That will go up to pretty long. So in case
you got like a starter kit.
Yeah, like a starter kit, but still $35 for just that's all you need.
Oh, maybe not, because that's starter kit. That's what I was looking at.
I think mine's called the Pro or something.
Oh, it listed it $28 on Philips's site, but then they want $19.99 for shipping.
Oh, that's where But you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's flat on there, but
the
edges of those.
That is weird. Yeah.
Huh. It's awesome.
Okay.
I would say you can try it, but like I just said, I'm Manscaped, so you don't want to touch it.
No, no, I don't.
And it's waterproof.
That reminds me of Space Quest. Like, you actually have to do like DNA resequencing, and you have to get like hair off of one of the characters' personal groomers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the game is super disgusting. I mean, it's at the same
Have you
time.
heard of genital jousting?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Oh, we did?
Yeah,
but on a podcast. Yeah. The game is awesome.
I've never played it, but yeah, I've heard of it.
I mean, playing solo is probably a little weird, but
when when
you're playing with a group of guys that all think that genitals are hilarious, the game becomes hilarious. And I think that's what I made it. I mean,
it's obviously a joke
off
game.
Of laughs.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
right.
Games like that. Fall Guys probably started as a joke, and then they give it free on PlayStation
right.
Plus.
Well,
and
you design these characters that waddle around and topple over. Yeah, of course. I mean, like then you're just like, what can we do with this? Well, obviously some sort of like platforming challenge because it's hilarious how they're waddling around. Yep.
The game was great. I loved it up until you had people that only want to see you fail. That's what ruins the game, because then you have people that are purposely trying to ruin.
So
they're making
that was always my biggest problem with certain MMOs. Like any that had like PvP enabled. Just out in the world minding your own business, and then you're level 3, and here comes a level 50, and just will not leave you alone. They're like, it's going to be great spending hours just killing you every time you resurrect.
Or leave, or you have to leave. They force you off the game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I've seen that's what...
It's like there is absolutely nothing I can do to stop you from doing this.
Besides leaving. And then, I don't know if that game, but like games like WoW, if that's happened to you and you leave when you're dead, there's a penalty.
Yeah, resurrection sickness. It's like I have to go back to my body if I don't want this, resurrection sickness. Yeah. And you're punishing me. Yeah. For playing this game because of one person that
Diablo 2 had it in a PvP server. Mainly it's for fighting, so everyone stays in town until you agree to fight. But if someone does kill you wrongly, or you're like, hey, we're gonna do melee only, and they go out there and they just hit you with everything, you drop the items you had. And if you don't go get your body, it's just there.
Right.
But you can't go back out there because there's a guy that's ruining it for you that
wants
to hit you.
That's another thing. Like, I don't know if this extends to PvP because I haven't actually tried it. But, like, there is one of the core game mechanics in Final Fantasy is level syncing.
You should say which Final Fantasy you're
14.
Playing. 14, okay.
Yeah. So, level syncing. So, there's, like, world events out there called Fates. that, they're like random events that pop up.
Okay.
You come across one and you can't just engage with it if you're too high of a level. So you actually have to hit a button to then lower your level, to sync your level to the level of that fate.
Okay.
So you're level appropriate.
It's weird that they don't just cap that out and give you fates for higher levels.
Nope. That allows you to participate in any fate worldwide because you get rewards.
Don't you have items that bump your level, or is it skills?
Like
how does that work?
It works the same way too. Like it will scale. Like there's dungeons and quick time stuff that will again scale your level down. So it doesn't really do much. Like you can have like really good gear on, and it'll actually it'll reduce your gear's level, but like certain bonuses end up being better for you, so you can be over geared but reduce level,
still fight it.
So you're still like you're doing a lot better than you would if you were that level with level appropriate gear on. But
could that screw you up though? So I've never played Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just stick to Diablo. It seems like the closest game I've played.
Yeah.
Say you have level 20 fireball, right? It's going to shoot out 10 fireballs or whatever. You're going to kill this radius, this powerful. How much mana it's going to use. In Final Fantasy, if you have a spell and it scales it back, could you find yourself in a hard spot though? Because now your spells aren't working the same way they were when you were higher.
So what's kind of weird is obviously your base damage type of stuff will scale and change. So you're not doing as much damage, but you're not fighting the same.
But everything's the same. Like in that specific example, as you level up Fireball, you get more fireballs that come out. Is there anything in Final Fantasy like that?
So the difference there is like certain skills that you have to be a certain level to use.
When you scale down, can you still use them?
Grayed out. No, you can't use them.
So that would screw you up if you were a player that did this one thing.
Yeah, it screwed up my rotations a few times because I couldn't do my normal rotation for a really low level.
And you're playing on the computer?
Cut out. Yeah.
So that could screw up your hotkeys then.
Exactly. So you still want to keep your your lower level skills still somewhere accessible.
That way you can do that.
Or what you can do is you have access to 12 different hotbars. So say you put your your low level rotation on a different hotbar.
You can
scale down, swap out the hotbar, and boom, you're good to go.
Okay. So now, is there any reason to be doing a lower level fate? Do you get less experience? Why would you want to go down?
The experience you get actually scales, so it's not a waste of your time to do lower stuff. So
that's
nice.
A
lot of people will run lower level dungeons because when you have great gear, you can run them faster because you're doing more damage even though your level is scaled down.
Yeah, because your gear is really high, but scaled down is still higher than a low gear. Okay.
Yep. So it makes it really quick. You can, zoom through the dungeon, but you're getting level appropriate experience. So when you're scaled back up to your normal level, you're getting the same basically amount of progression that you would have at the level appropriate. So
did you ever do the Oblivion Skyrim? Did you ever do the hack where you're playing on one difficulty? You can't beat a boss, so you lower the difficulty while you're playing. You ever done that? Have you heard about that?
Not for that, but
Yeah, so you could do that on.
Because I never played Oblivion, so.
Okay, you could do it on Skyrim too.
Yeah.
But I would do it on Oblivion.
And I never played more than an hour of Skyrim. So.
That's good. That's all you need. All right, Oblivion's much better. I put tons of hours into both, but yeah, so you lower it down.
Yeah.
And then they're almost dead, and you jump it right back up.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so you could jump it right back up. And when you hit them, you still get your experience that you would have for the higher level.
Yeah,
which
pretty cheap.
It's not. It's cheap, but it's not. It's a solo player, so you're not gaining anything on anyone. But there's a mix when you're playing video games because you want it to be fun, enjoyable, but also challenging.
Sure.
So if you're
that's why I always start with the highest difficulty.
Oh.
And then bring it down
really?
If I'm like, wow, I really suck at this.
I stick it at normal.
Yeah.
Usually normal. Unless I'm trying to beat all the difficulties, I'll do them all. Because too hard, I don't want to immediately get frustrated with a game that you're just starting. Because if it's a slow game and it already is hard, it's like, it could turn you off real fast. It's like a book or a movie. If it starts off bad, you're like, I'm not even going to continue this. So I start at normal because easy or super easy, whatever those did, they're way too easy. It's like no challenge.
Yes.
Like I've played some of like Ratchet and Clank for Kylie, put it on super easy, and it's like you're one hitting everything. You're just running through. It's almost like you're an invincible god just running through this map.
Still too hard for game journalists, but yeah.
Still too hard for game journalists?
Oh yeah, yeah.
They complain about that?
Yeah. They don't actually play games. They don't know how to play games, but they know how to criticize them. So, write articles that tear it apart. Like, this game sucks. Couldn't even get past the tutorial. It's like, well, that's because you suck, not the game. Yeah.
I feel the same with music.
It's like it tells you right on the screen, this is how you pass this, and he couldn't do it. It's like,
what game was this?
Dude,
what game was this?
Cuphead.
I've never.
So now everyone knows who I'm talking about.
There you go. Let them know.
It's a very famous.
I like how you
example.
look at the audience, and the audience, for the people that don't know, we're watching our own stream here, so we can see the camera. So we look at ourselves. You're like, so everyone.
Yeah, how you doing?
Us too.
Yes,
no.
Yep. Yes. Yep.
I think critics like that. I mean, I get critics. I really like them for. I did like them for cars because they were reviewing cars, but then you start getting paid, and then it's not a true review.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it used to be you could actually rely on critics' opinion. They could give you a well-informed, well-analyzed, review of something. Now, all of their reviews are bought.
Exactly.
So,
which is why people switch, like me, to people like Linus Tech Tips or Cletus McFarlane for cars.
I only go to YouTube people that I know are not paid
or they'll
for
tell
their
you
opinion. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Linus will come and be like, "This is sponsored by Sony.
Right.
We are testing a Sony monitor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it my full review, but just so you know, they are paying us for this, or they gave us the Sony monitor for free.
Yeah.
And so even if it's a little bit biased, you know that they do all the competitors, so there's not one real thing. And even the car guys I watch, they'll tell you they're like, we run all Holley performance parts. It doesn't mean they're the best. They're giving us the part.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're gonna run it. It's free. All we have to tell you is that we're running it.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll use other parts. So.
Right.
But same for music critics. I hate people that come out. You see like, this album sucked, and it's like, you just reviewed a rock album when you're a jazz critic. Like, you're not even in the realm of people that listen. So of course it's gonna suck to you.
Yeah.
I don't like country. I'm gonna tell you that every new age country song that comes on sucks.
Yeah.
Or my buddy who loves country is gonna love it.
Right.
Because that's the music. So
yes, critics
are very weird. I get the need. I guess that not the need, but the want. The public wants to know. I mean, you don't, especially nowadays. You have cyberpunk.
That's the big issue that has plagued Rotten Tomatoes lately.
Oh yeah, it used to be super accurate.
Yeah,
you could rely.
Now it's not. Like the difference between the critic and the user score
is so far apart.
Yeah, it's like they're not even watching the same movie, so they can't.
I think they're paid.
Oh, they absolutely are.
I think that's something.
And if they're not paid, they're activists. So, they have an agenda.
Yes.
So, and that influences, their review more than, is this objectively a good movie or not?
It goes both ways, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Amber Turd, any movie she has that comes out now, no matter what it is, the user reviews are going to tank it. They're not even going to watch it. They're just going to tank it.
Yep.
So they're using a platform.
And see, that's the thing. I don't agree with it either way. Whether it's on the critic side, whether it's on general public side, it's like you have to, if you're going to review something, don't let your personal, views and opinions taint the review, the score. It's like, don't waste my time. It's like, I need to know, because I use that information to judge whether it's worth my time to go and watch.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to know what your politics are, what your worldview is, because, that's not important to, is this a good movie or not?
Exactly.
So that's what I want answered. And you're not doing that. So, yeah.
Do you have, I don't know if you do, I do, Reddit, whatever, they ask, what's the scariest movie you've seen? What's the best video game you've played?
Mm-hmm.
I always go in there because in my mind, I know what it is for me.
Sure.
And I'll scroll through them all until I find the one that I was hoping was
this
on there.
guy knows. There he is.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yep.
Just last night, it was like, what is the most disturbing movie you've seen?
Uh-huh.
And I saw this movie called Green Inferno. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
It's I think it's some activist, like they want to save the rainforest or whatever.
Okay.
So they go to the rainforest, plane crashes.
I've heard of Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the same movie.
No, so there's a cannibal tribe. They get, trapped by the cannibal tribe.
Sure.
And they're getting eaten, and then they eat food, and it ends up being one of their friends that was taken. So the movie's really disturbing. I went through like so many just looking for that movie, and it wasn't on there. I'm like, these people don't know what they're talking about. No one knows what they're talking about.
No, wait. It's not. It's Dante's Peak, isn't it? It's Dante's Peak, and then just Inferno, isn't it?
No, Dante's Inferno.
Is it Dante's Inferno?
I believe it's a book too.
Sure. Well, it's the Dante Alighieri's Paradise Lost. Not Paradise Lost, but yeah. Right. Dante's Inferno is like Inferno is like the second.
Yes, it's the levels of hell and
something
everything.
Canto. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, classic.
That's a real thing.
Literature. So
never read it, but yeah.
Okay.
I know.
I was thinking of the volcano movie back in the 90s, which I think was.
Never seen any volcano.
I think that was Dante's Peak, wasn't it?
I don't know. Volcano movies
they all have those weird
any
titles.
Volcano, volcano.
It had Pierce Brosnan in it, I think.
I don't know, but a volcano movie. How are you gonna make a movie? We have an active volcano. I'll stay away with it. No one dies. Not a problem. All right. It's like.
Well, the problem was apparently it was like in downtown Los Angeles.
Oh, that's great. So they built a city on
just
an active
boom,
volcano.
Volcano pops up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
not. It's not like I can watch some pretty ridiculous movies, but.
Oh yeah.
That's just a premise I can't get behind. Like a volcano, you just stay away from it. No one should die via volcano. Unless it's the national park.
Here's the thing, though. Lava actually moves a lot faster than you think.
That's what I'm saying. So stay the fuck away from the volcano. Especially, it's always crazy to me when we have volcanic activity and photographers and people and tourists want to visit. I'm like, what do you do? You know it's going to explode at some point. What are you doing?
Oh, I forgot to add this to my watch list. Yeah, it is Dante's Peak. Yep.
Show me the thumbnail of that. Or the movie's poster. Yeah, already I'm out. All right.
You're already out.
I'm already
290s. There it is. This came out, what? 97. So, here's the...
what do the critics give you? Can you tell me what the critics give it?
It has a 6.0.
Out of 10?
6.0 out of 10 right now on IMDb. There's a 43 Metascore.
I've watched way lower and enjoyed movies.
Oh,
I've watched like a 3 and been like, this is a good movie.
Sure, yeah. Because you go in expecting to watch a 3 and
it's better.
Exactly. It's like, oh, well, that wasn't too bad.
That's different too. Like,
you go in expecting to watch a 10 and you get a 3.
Disappointed.
You're disappointed, yeah. So.
Well, you watch it for other reasons too. So
yeah, critics
are judging it on how the actors were. All this. I'm going off entertainment, right? If I liked the movie, was entertained, or it brought me to another place. If you sit down on your couch, you turn a movie on, and you're instantly transported into this film for 2 hours, hour and a half, and you forget about everything else because you're into the film. Good movie for me.
Oh, absolutely.
Good movie.
Yeah,
I can.
There are plenty of bad movies that I love. Like they just work. I watched Biodome yesterday again.
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, yeah? Huh.
I've been getting into on Netflix. I used to hate dubbed movies.
Yeah?
Because their lips don't line up. And I'm a big audio guy, which if you watch the video before this, we just went through like an hour of trying to get our audio perfect. So I want the lips to match up. But so many of these movies dubbed are really good. Germans make great movies.
So I've been wanting to try it's that German TV show about time travel. Dark.
That's the first one.
Yeah. Okay.
I turned it on whenever it went to Netflix 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Lips weren't lining up. I was like, fuck my internet connection. This sucks, right? So then I stopped and I was bored another night, turned it on. I'm like, what is going on with this movie?
It's still not synced.
So I go online and I type in, I'm like, what is this problem? And everyone's like, that it's dubbed, man. I'm like, oh. Huh. And I got into it. I think it's 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Never finished it. It's great. Season 1, highly recommend.
Yeah.
You can watch it in German and just read the subtitles. I always watch with subtitles on anyway. So I'm reading the real translated subtitles, so it doesn't always match up with what they're dubbing.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's still... Right now I'm watching Heist, I think it's called on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of what language they speak. It's not English. I watch it in English, but it's great. It's about robbing the...
It's like Portuguese or something like that?
Oh, have you seen it?
I don't know. I have no idea, but...
It's good because the premise is they're robbing the embassy where they make money. And so the whole staging is. They go in acting like they're robbing it, and they act like they're getting caught robbing it. So the cops show up and they pin them in here, and they think they have them trapped, but they're not stealing what was in the vault. They're printing money. Because then they can print unmarked bills. So instead of robbing the $3 million or whatever, they can print up to $7 billion if they stay there the entire time. And I'm not through with it, but that's the whole. It's a cool concept because you're no longer just robbing. You're tricking people into thinking all you're doing is robbing. So it's not a big deal when really you're on the inside just straight printing unmarked bills unlimitedly. So that's dubbed. It's good to watch. I won't say go watch it yet because I told everyone to watch that other Alien show, and then it was canceled. Remember I told you about that? Did I not? I was watching a show called The Colony.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right. Fantastic show. Telling everyone, watch it. Then it ends with the cliffhanger because the show got dropped after 3 seasons. So I won't recommend this yet because I don't know if there's an ending. That would be like telling everyone how great Lost is up to season 3. And you're like, you got to watch it. And then they watch it and then just hate all the next 3 seasons because they're confused. Right?
Right.
Or it'd be like telling everyone Game of Thrones is the greatest show ever and you've watched it all.
Right.
Because right now, I would not suggest Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So fantastic, but it's going to ruin the whole experience for you once you hit that last. Unless
you
could tell them stop.
It still amazes me to this day that, the number one show in the world that could have gone out like with this incredible legacy.
I bet it would have beat Harry Potter.
Oh, absolutely.
Harry Potter is, and the Lord of the Rings is the greatest.
It was set up to be like one of the greatest pieces of work ever made.
Yeah.
But to see what happens when, you trip and fall across the finish line is just...
I don't know if you trip and fall. I feel like you punch the guy behind you, take his gun and shoot yourself. I don't know. Or you shoot a baby in the crowd.
Right?
Like, it's just not even... If you looked at a chart, you've got Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, for examples, up here. Game of Thrones, no one knows about it. It starts coming up. It starts going past them. Then you get to the last season, and they're like, just fuck it. And then they go backwards. They somehow go backwards and
exactly.
down.
I mean, I just rewatched Harry Potter.
I still
just last couple days.
All whenever it plays on the holidays. I mean, it still holds up.
I'm planning on going back and listening to the audiobooks now again.
The first 2 movies, because they're so young, it's kind of off-putting.
They're very bad actors. Yeah. They are very bad actors. Yeah.
I love the original Fast and Furious movies for the message and the car racing and everything. Now I didn't even watch the newest one. We're way far beyond what the movie was ever. But when you go back and watch the first one, they're all Vin Diesel, Paul Walker. They're all unknown actors.
Right.
And I don't blame them as they're bad actors to first, but also the script is so horrible for the early 2000s.
That first one was super cheesy.
It's good. Cheesy. I still love the movie, but it's
yeah.
If you didn't watch it around the timing it came out, now when you look back, you're like, I can't even handle it. Because one, the dialogue is weird. How they talked in LA back then.
Yeah.
And then the script's bad. Yeah. And then the delivery of new actors. You put all 3 of those together in today's time when everyone's
I can't remember what I was watching, but, it was one of those things that it came across as like all of the characters are far too manic and reacting to the scene. They're not actually like playing a character, but Timeline. It's another Paul Walker movie.
Whoa, it's a Paul Walker movie I've never seen.
You've never seen that?
No, I thought I've seen every Paul Walker movie. I'm a huge fan. I cried when he died. I really did.
Yeah.
I do. It's called Timeline.
Something like that. Yeah.
From 2003.
Yeah, it's a.
Yeah, Paul Walker, Francis O'Connor, Gerard Butler.
Yes.
Oh, so it's really old. That's why. Oh man, he's so young.
Yeah.
Is it good? Is it?
Yeah, I've seen that. Maybe 3 or 4 times.
Is it about time travel?
Yeah.
Well, don't ruin it. I'm gonna watch it.
So.
It looks good. Yeah, Paul Walker. He became a good actor. He got really good at acting, and he had that Heath Ledger style that James Dean. He was a good-looking guy. I mean, he was made to be in movies. I mean, the guy looked good, and then when he got good at acting, it was just a perfect fit. But I really liked all the characters he played, and then outside of that, I mean, he gave not Keanu Reeves level, but he was giving a ton of money to charity, and he would host all these car events and give all the proceeds away to improve first responders' time in big. I mean, he was going out Shark Week and everything huge activist for wildlife in the ocean, saving reefs, and like a guy like that that's not just like, look at me, like The Rock. He's every day. He's like, look at me. I'm on Instagram. You know, motivational. I'm doing this new movie. It's like this guy didn't care about the fame. He's like using his money to go do what he wants to do and help things. So actors like that are always better when the person's great. Trying to think of anyone else. Like, I mean, obviously Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. I mean, like, here's the thing. He's like my favorite actor. He's not a good actor. But he's my favorite actor.
That's what I wanted to say when we were watching the Matrix trailer. Like, I love the John Wick movies.
Yeah.
You let me borrow them. They're great. He's still a horrible actor in the movies.
Right. But I don't care.
No.
I do not care. I love that
either.
man. Like, he is my favorite actor because of who he is.
The good thing about all the Weapons movies, he went through the years of training to make it really besides one scene where they're shooting a bunch and they're dropping full bullets out instead of just casings. I was like, for how much you get right in these movies, it's a really weird flaw.
No one? Seriously? Like, no one?
Like, I get you had a bunch of guys that are editing that probably don't know a lot about guns, but like, you've got a man over here acting who's doing full reloads, full everything, and then you're dropping full bullets.
It's like those ones where they shoot the entire bullet out of the gun.
Yeah.
The casing and everything.
Same thing,
it's like, what are you doing? It's like, what is this?
It was weird to see it in a John Wick because, I mean, they're using realistic guns.
Mm-hmm.
When he goes to buy a gun, he looks at it, he handles it right, he cycles it right, gets the way. I mean, perfect. That's exactly how you would do it if you were buying a gun and you were professional.
I love that, you know, like I said, like there's this one moment where he reverses grip and, you know, checks the chamber.
Yeah, it's the same scene when he's in the hotel.
Because that gun is notorious for not chambering the round correctly.
Yep, that's the same scene when he goes to the hotel with his token or whatever to get weapons, and he's checking everything out. Because that's how you would look at a gun.
Right.
Or when he picks up the rifles and he's going down it, and then he also brings it closer. Because, I mean, he's going to be using it for everything, so he wants to see how it feels away, close. Same when he's clearing rooms. I mean, you see cop movies where they're going around corners with a gun in the hand, and then you've got John Wick who knows you're pulling it in tight when you're going around corners because you don't want anyone to take the gun.
Exactly. I mean, it's one of those things that gets overused in movies, but people do that. They always think, you know, they always hold the gun out, you know, when they're looking for the mysterious, you know, the threat. It's like, you do realize that you've created a huge target right here of a weak point that will neutralize that threat.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things. You hit the elbow, it's going up. You hit the wrist, you're breaking the wrist. I mean, it's just there's at least 2 points right there, or even backwards, where the gun's gone. Yeah. I mean, one of my bosses was a gun instructor, builds his own guns, and he would talk about how many times he's at the range, and he sees someone that's doing a holster, you know, draw or right from the table, and they pull it up and go like that. And he's like, it should be a 3-step process. You should be coming out close and then pushing out when you're ready to shoot. So if you're just coming straight out, someone's just going to disarm you. He's like, you need to have it always close to you and then push out. So, but he also taught me the last resort for a gun to you. He goes, you can always put your hand right into the barrel, because most guns, if the slide's pushed, but he said, worst case, they're shooting a bullet through your hand, but they're already going to shoot you anyway. He said, best case, you're going to have that slide just a millimeter back. It's not going to go off. Yep. So that's last case. He goes, you got a gun, you give them whatever you want. But if it's life or death, he goes, yeah, you put your hand to it. He goes, you're getting shot anyway. Yeah. Might as well go through your hand. Maybe one goes through your hand, but now you got the barrel blocked. They can't shoot anymore. Right. And I was like, I never thought about that. Never thought. Hopefully no one, ourselves on the TV, no one's in that situation. Yeah. But you learn a lot. I mean, right. Guns are crazy, and to see an actor going through all that, and the martial arts he does. Yeah, I've actually considered, like, you know, looking at some, you know, like 3-gun, you know, training courses, that kind of stuff. You know, I guess I don't want to say what city we're in. There was one. I think there was one like maybe 5 hours from here or something like that. There's one 5 minutes from here. Really? It actually does. Yeah, you know the 3-gun training. Yeah, you know the city with the water tower, with the smiley face. Yeah. So their sportsman club, they do. It's 4 weeks. It's 4 weeks. First week, everyone's shooting from a sitting position. You're sitting in a chair and you're shooting a pistol. And then second week, if I'm correct in order, is a shotgun in a hallway. Third week would be shooting a rifle through basically a window at farther targets. And then fourth week, you put it all together. Sitting in a chair, do the whistle, shoot with the pistol, move to the shotgun, clear the hallway, switch the rifle through the window. So I don't know how often they do it, but then it's almost like a kill house, whatever you want to say. You're getting real world experience.
Sure. Yeah.
I think they were mimicking, you're sitting in your living room, something happens, you reach for your sidearm.
Sure.
You clear a hallway with a shotgun, and then any threats coming from farther away. So very unrealistic. And
exactly. I don't know. I don't have my house set up that way. Yeah.
What line of work are you where you need a pistol, a shotgun, and a rifle?
Right. I always keep my pistol in my armchair.
Yes. My grandpa
my shotgun in my hallway.
So my grandpa did. He's hard of hearing, and he had a big lazy boy, and he'd have a table here, and he'd keep his revolver there. Not that he could do anything.
Sure.
I walked into his house because I used to come in his house all the time. He didn't hear me. I'd open his garage. I went up there, grabbed the revolver from next to him while he's watching TV.
Oh no!
Set it. I'm not gonna play with guns. He keeps it in a little soft case.
Sure.
Put it behind, then sneak up on the other side of him and go, "What are you doing?" And he's all frantic. I can't do that anymore. He's getting old. I don't want to give him a heart attack.
But, yeah.
But there's the state police do one too.
Yeah.
They do not I don't know if it's multi-gun. It's definitely sidearm and rifle, but they do drills where you're sitting in a car, like an actual car, and then you learn to clear through the windows of the car and work as a team to move out of the car to cover. And they do drills where you're on your back, laying in the dirt. And I guess they're all-day events.
Okay. Yeah, police do a lot of training around the corner, so they're there all the time.
The public can do this.
Yeah.
So you can sign up. It's pretty pricey. We met a guy at a sportsman club who was telling us about it, but you get full tactical training. So obviously the cops in our area aren't going to need that. But when are you going to be firing from the dirt or clearing out of a car?
Sure.
But it would be cool.
But I mean it is good because like when are you going to be in an ideal setting, that's life or death, like that scenario. It's like hold on, wait a minute, this scene is not set up to what I've been training for. It's like let me get set.
I've stopped doing. Everyone that target shooting's fun, but whenever I can, I want to draw from where I carry it.
Yeah.
And do closer shooting and faster shooting.
Sure.
Because if you do too much target shooting, these older guys that go to the range every day, and you load your gun, you pick it up off the table, you hold, you aim, and you shoot, that's never going to happen.
Sure.
Ever. And if you get in a situation and your muscle memory is doing that, you're going to start doing the wrong things.
Yep.
So I know ranges around here, unless they're private, they don't want you to quick fire.
Yeah, no.
But you need to practice that.
They don't want you, shooting from holster either.
Nope. So... Even if you can hold it by your side, which they won't let you do it. So your dad's house, I've done it.
Right.
The sportsman club where they do that training I was just talking about, there's no one there, so you can do it.
I wouldn't do it with live ammunition. Like I'd use some sort of like snap caps or
from
something
holster.
Like that. Yeah.
So from holster, I practice the draw dry, but when I'm there, I hold it in the same location I'm at, or we do it where you set it on the table about height where you would have it. And then you look the other way. You look at someone, and they say go. And then what you do is you turn, pick it up, and shoot at the targets. That way you're still getting... It's not perfect, but you're getting the urgency. Because if you're firing when you're ready, you're never going to be ready. So you need someone to catch you off guard, have a step where you're doing something with the firearm, and then shooting. Yeah. And then we rapid fire, because never are you just shooting one shot, waiting to see where it landed, one shot. I mean, you're going to... You should be, if you're carrying a gun, you should be emptying. You should not stop until you're out. Yes. You need to put them all because it's not like the movies. I mean, you can watch cops. People get shot.
I just saw a clip of, these, two cops that pulled a car over and two guys are outside of the car. And like from inside of the car, a third guy pops out with like, some kind of subcompact, like a MAC-10, something like that. Starts shooting at him. And so they're scattering everywhere, and they start firing back, and they hit him in the foot, and so he's hopping around, and he hops around the, off camera behind the car, the cop car, and gets in front of it, and they shoot him again, and he falls right there, and you see a police officer come into frame and just mag dump, down off screen.
Yeah.
You know, and it looks like, you know, okay, that threat's handled. Reload. Anything else going on around me? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can't.
So
bullets cause a lot of damage, but the thing, your body is very good. So
absolutely.
You get shot.
That's the thing that frustrates me. You know, they're talking about, you know, all these regulations, and you know, you don't need a gun that has this number of rounds in it, you know, ammo capacity. It's all that kind of stuff.
That shouldn't matter.
As if every single scenario, it runs perfectly in one shot. That threat's, you know, neutralized. Right, it does not happen that way.
I get it if they don't want you to carry that. You know, if they don't want you carrying 25 because then you can go to public places. But in your house, right? Someone comes in, and if you're only allowed to have 3 bullets, chances are you're not going to hit all 3. The other chances are 3 aren't going to take them down right away, no matter what you're firing. I don't care if you're firing an assault rifle or a pistol. I mean, they're basically the same bullet. You're not going to take the guy down with 3 shots. And then what are you going to do if there's more than one guy?
Yes.
You're just out of options. So that's a weird thing. But movies get it wrong. John Wick did it right. Plenty of people get shot in that, and they're still moving.
Yeah.
Because
right,
it takes time. Now, you could shoot someone that go down with one shot. It's a lot of impact. Small guy like me, no matter what caliber it is, I'm probably going to fall. I mean, it's a lot of force hitting you, and you're going to get knocked down, but that doesn't mean you're dead. Right. There's millions of people a year probably that survive a gunshot wound. I mean, they're not... I was at a hotel, a guy gets in the hot tub, and he had 4, 5, 6 bullet, wounds on him, healed, and stab wounds. I don't know. Who knows what he did, but
50 survived 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
There's a lot of space up in here. Mm-hmm. As long as you're not hitting anything vital. Yeah. Yeah. All right, we are getting close to the end of this. So I'm going to bring up a question, a hypothetical, and then we'll end it after that.
Leave it on a cliffhanger, an unanswered question?
No. You're going to answer it.
I'm going to answer it.
Yeah, you're going to answer it. So let me paint the picture for you. I don't know if you want to close your eyes and imagine it, but let's just...
No, I have a good enough imagination. I could see it without closing my eyes.
Now I'm worried you're picturing me naked because that's it's a tactic to feel comfortable.
So you got to keep stuff, behind a wall in a box that never gets opened. So,
I'm naked behind a wall in a box in your mind?
You could be. I can't see past there, so I don't know what's behind there. We keep a lot of stuff. Right, let's keep a lot of stuff that will never be thought. There's no thoughts going on back there. All right, so that's its purpose. That wall can never be breached. Yep.
You're worrying me about that, but let's forget that because that's worrying me a little bit.
That there's a wall that I keep things behind a wall.
That could be anything in the wall.
I've never been. I don't know what's in there. I've never been beyond that wall. Is what I'm saying.
I mean, if you've got a child locked up in your basement and you've never been down there, the cops ain't gonna believe that, Jeremiah. I'm just saying.
I sure hope not. I mean, I don't go down there a lot, so
I don't think that's gonna hold up in court. I don't think it is. But so let's just imagine, say this podcast thing, say it takes off, whatever. Yeah. Say we start making money enough to quit our jobs, right? And go once a week, twice a week, or full-time editing, whatever we're doing. So we're making money. We both quit our jobs. I'm going to assume you're putting your whole, time into it, right? If you're making enough money to quit a job, right? You're putting your full time.
That's the only time you should ever quit your job, is if
you're making
what you're replacing it, you
becomes your job.
Exactly. Yes. Makes you as much money, or if not more.
So let's
don't quit your job, on something that I have a project I want to work on, and I figure if I put all my time and energy into it, then I will make as much money as I did at my job.
It's the same reason not to quit
don't
your
do
job
that.
before you have
That
a
is
job.
so dumb, so stupid. Yeah.
Okay, so we're assuming we both understand that.
Yes.
So let's just say, in total, we're making what me and you make as salaries combined now. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what you make. I really don't know exactly what I make. But let's just say ours combined. I
make a lot.
That's what the podcast is bringing in, right?
Yes.
So we quit. Mm-hmm. We're working on full time. I'm full time. We're fully invested. Now, with that in mind, I go off. We're co-hosts completely. I mean, this is a 50-50 venture, however you want to split. I mean, neither one of us is above. Let's just say I don't leave our podcast. I'm still fully committed. I start a podcast where I'm not my own thing, 50-50 with someone else on another podcast. In your mind, I mean, what are you thinking about that? I would never do this.
Here's the thing.
But you think that's fine?
Why wouldn't it be? I mean, like, as long as you're not,
slacking.
Like,
yeah,
exactly.
Let's just say I'm putting the same amount
of time.
Yeah,
you decide I want to take on more responsibilities so that what I've done over here doesn't get ignored. I've got everything all taken care of. These agreements are still in place. I want to go off and expand, spend, more of my time invested in some other thing.
That's fine.
I am not the master of you and your time. Yes.
So you don't. That's not threatening at all.
Why would it be?
Okay, I agree. I agree with you. Not that I would do that. I want to ask because there's so much controversy in bands where you have a great thing going, and that person leaves and starts their own band, and then the original band. Not that they're quitting. Yeah. But that original band feels threatened now, and insecurities get there. Yeah. I just wondered because I can see it both ways.
I mean, it's happened all throughout history with bands. I mean, like people that want to do solo projects and they think, oh, does that mean you're quitting the band? It's no, it means I want to do a solo project.
That's different, right? I feel like for sure, if we're doing this, we're making a ton of money, and you go off and do a solo thing as well as it. That's fine because everyone wants individuality. I mean, you have Tom Segura does his comedy, and that he has his own podcast, so he can do something different than what's popular. I get that. Yeah. But it's what happens when you go and do the exact same thing. So say I do the same. I leave here and do the same exact format.
You find a better co-host. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so I see it both ways because one, it's like if you did it to me, I'd wonder like why not this one?
I think that the issue here is that theoretically, like it's not an issue as long as both can survive. Yes. If the replacement or the second venture, does better and the first one ends up dying, whether it's immediately down the road, whenever, it's I think at that point then that person that is part of the one that failed would feel a little bit of resentment because you jump ship and that one took off and now you're really popular over here without me. And
you're saying if they're both doing good. So I see. I in my opinion, it would be shitty regardless of the situation if you left and did the exact same format. Sure. Yeah. So if I did the same 2-person exact format, that seems like a shitty thing to do. Even if you're putting both time into both. Right. Because it's like why? Yeah, that makes sense. Why leave? Because then it's a direct person. It seems like a personal problem.
It is a personal thing because then you're saying that I like this format. The way it works is fine. I don't like you as much as I like them, so I want to start with another.
Yeah, see, that's what I get. Yeah. But so I see what you're saying. Because the bands that I personally know that have done other side projects, it's to do something different musically.
Sure. Yeah, it's to explore.
And they're both still doing great. Yeah. And I've never seen a problem with that. I'm like, okay, sure, it makes sense that they're leaving, and you could be mad if they're doing the exact same thing or they're neglecting your band. Mm-hmm. But if they're doing something totally different than what you've built, right? Because bands, the Beatles, Rush, AC/DC, Blink, whatever, they're basically pigeonholed. I mean, you move a little bit, but if you wanted to do, say you're a rapper or in a rap group, and then you want to go make rock music, I feel like your other bandmates shouldn't, because it's totally separate. Right. Like they're gonna go explore something totally different. Yeah. So that was my hypothetical. I mean, I would never leave and do the same thing. I needed.
So you're not telling me that you've already replaced me.
No.
Second episode, you're like, I found someone.
I'm sorry, me and Grogu are actually...
I'm going to have to revoke my permission to marry my sister then. So.
Me and Grogu, I'm sorry, we're doing our own thing.
Okay. He is a better co-host than I am. He's very eloquent. Yep.
He's quiet.
Yeah.
He's definitely quiet. It would work for me.
You can't hear him?
I think as these podcasts go on, people will realize in the beginning I'm always going to be talking a whole lot more or talking over you. And I think as we go on farther, they'll see you learning more to just talk over me because I don't care. But you're too nice to do. When we first met, you would just be quiet while I talked. Yeah. And now you've learned, I think, that you can just talk over me and I'll shut up and listen. And they'll see that I'll start listening. Because even in this podcast, I've quieted down more and just listen, which is hard because you get someone in front of a microphone. These people watching, they have to listen to me. They're stuck here. This is my one chance to talk and say whatever.
So, I mean, I think that's another one of those things that People don't even realize that talking into a microphone or to a camera is not really the same as talking to people. Like it's one of those things that you kind of have to. It's a skill you need to develop.
Right.
So, I filmed a lot of people that you get them in front of a camera, and as soon as you hit that record button, like they forget how to talk.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it's super frustrating. But
right?
Yeah, it's like we literally just had this conversation of what I want you to say on camera right before I hit record, and as soon as I hit record, it's gone. It's like, and I get it, because like when you're staring into that lens, I mean, it literally sucks you. Well, it doesn't literally. It figuratively sucks you in.
Now let's get into the conspiracy.
It literally sucks your soul in.
We're not actually using a camera. We're using like 50 mirrors. That way the camera can't take our soul.
Right? Exactly. Can't take the risk. But I mean, it's funny because it doesn't actually happen, but it feels like that lens, that dark hole is just it's just expanding and consuming you, and so it's all you can think about, and you got this dumb look on your face.
I think the problem with that is those people. Let me psychoanalyze them. They're putting something on when they're on camera. They're a totally different person.
Right.
I think like right before I met your sister, I was like, I'm no longer going to be a different person around other people.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be respectful when you have to be, but like, I'm the same person always.
Right.
I'm going to talk over people. I'm going to make the same jokes if it offends you. Like, I don't want to have to. That's why it's so easy when you we hit stream and it's like, nothing changed. I'm just going to be the same person. You're going to like it or you're not. I'm not even going to try.
Right.
But some people, when you hit record or put them in front of it, they start thinking, oh, what's my image? What I want to portray. Like when you come as you are, you don't have to. When you have zero intentions,
an announcer voice, and
when you have zero intentions, it doesn't matter.
That's it. Yep. There it is. There's the end. Zero intentions.
I'll talk shit about our own. No, because I'm gonna go one step further. I'm gonna talk shit about our own podcast real quick.
Okay. All right. Let's hear it.
Let's
roll it out.
The people, at least like me, you get a microphone, you get to say whatever you want, and someone's gonna listen.
Yeah.
And I think what's good and bad about today's society, anyone can just do this. You can put a microphone and go on.
Right. Exactly.
Whereas back in 70s, 80s, 90s, someone was vetting them for you.
Yes.
There's a million people that want to be heard.
There's a huge barrier between you and the audience.
Yes. A million people want to be heard.
Right.
And they're picking, they're like, this guy's entertaining enough, or this girl's entertaining enough, we'll let you hear them. And the market's getting so everyone can just pick up a phone, TikTok, whatever.
Yep.
And you have to weed now when I'm on social media.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Right.
Oh, someone's entertaining.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I mean, it's good and it's bad because now you don't have to go through all the walls in the industry to get to that. We can see more quality content and less biased
It just takes more effort and
because now there's more
determination to find it. Yeah.
I hope we're one of the ones that is worthy.
Well, I guess we'll see. That's really not up to us though. So
no, that's what I'm saying. I hope we're worthy.
Right.
But I'm also not one that's just.
But we haven't done anything to promote this yet, really. So, other than you post a couple things on Instagram.
Yeah. When we end the credits, we got to talk about that. We have to have some kind of strategy because I don't want to.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, our we started this thing, saying zero intentions, but that was more geared towards like
for live.
Yeah, exactly. The topic. Like we don't want to be boxed into like we have to talk about this thing.
No.
But we do need to discuss like the social media strategy, all that kind of stuff. A way to really get our name out there.
All right. So. With that, let's start the ending here. And, we will see these people later, and let's go over our strategy. But as Jeremiah just said, the topic is there's no topic. We'll go wherever we have to. And hopefully when people come into the chat, that can steer us in other directions.
There you go. And we'll let you know, and we'll see you out there.
Very well said. We'll see you.
We will.
We'll find them.
You won't see us.